Hey Ravens, welcome back to the second edition of ONW Now this week.
It's everyone's favorite blonde duo here again. I'm Gretchen Renfro, and I'm here with Wait, you're not Corey.
Yeah, unfortunately not. I'm Jonna Cuman.
That's awkward. Roll that intro. We know better than anyone that ecom is an amazing experience, and many of our students still keep in touch after graduating. Let's hand it off to Madison Graham, who interviewed a few of our alumni to ask some questions about their time in ecom.
Hey Ravens, it's Madison Graham. Over the past week, I've talked to former ecom alumni about how they use SID and convergence in their daily life. Let's get into it.
I really enjoyed my experience in ecom, just like being able to do ONW Now and go out and film games. I love sports. I played sports at Northwest and, growing up. So I just really liked the journalism business.
Now that we know where Haley learned her journalism skills from, let's see what helped her excel to college.
I would say working with software like Adobe Premiere. When I got to college freshman year at Mizzou, that was one thing that really they did not teach us at all. And I learned a lot of my video editing from Mr. Cooper back in ecom. So when I got to school, I did really well in my classes because I knew the software, and that was able to help me really get my foot in at the news station down.
Since Haley knew a lot about editing from Mr. Cooper, it shows how she pieces everything together to get a full story result.
I go out to local high schools around the Columbia area, go to different towns, and I tweet and I take videos. And the only real big difference, though, is once I take those videos and tweet, I, immediately go back to the station and I edit the highlights and write a script for our news director that then gets turned in for the 9 and 10 o'clock show.
Wow. Thank you so much, Haley. Your memory in ecom will be long-lasting. This has been Madison Graham. Now back to the show.
So cool to see this former student back again and learn what she's done after graduating.
So, Jonna, what would you say is the most valuable project you've ever done in ecom?
Yeah, I'd definitely say that SketchUp house freshman year.
Oh, yeah. Is that why you won Animation Student of the Year?
Yeah, 100%. But enough about me. As a future Dutch Bro employee, how will you manage your time?
Just so much coffee.
Think you could hook me up with a discount?
I'll think about it.
Well, regardless, you're not alone. Many students here are struggling with finding out how to manage work and school life.
Ash Hunt went around asking people how they maintain their schedule while school is still in session.
For some Olathe Northwest students, their day does not end at 3. With a combination of work and homework after school, some students can find themselves busy till 9 or 10 p.m.
I would say I get roughly 6 hours of homework a week, and I typically work around 30 hours in a work week. I do think that it can get pretty challenging, especially because sometimes it does feel like there's just not enough time in a day to get done what you need to get done.
A lot of the time I do feel lost. One of the strategies that I've started using is I got a planner so I can write out everything, but then the issue that I face there is I've run out of room in my planner to put everything that I need to get done. I work at Genesis Health Clubs in the Kids Club. The amount of homework hours that I have in a week really do differ, but they've started going up, so it's just getting kind of more and more stressful. So I would say about 2 hours every night.
I kind of wish that there was no homework at all. I think there's too many kids that literally just don't have the time to do homework because they're barely at home, or they get home really late and then they don't have any energy.
For students who struggle to balance their school life with their work life, adding their social life on top of that can be an extra challenge.
It's definitely stressful not having as much downtime, just because high school is something where having a social life is really important, especially outside of school, having time to be with your peers, and that's something that doesn't quite happen when you are working.
Yeah, I think it makes it more challenging to have an actual life, to hang out with friends and have hobbies and stuff. And hobbies are what actually make us, not something that we're forced to do.
My downtime is really now just sleeping, and even then that's very scarce hours. I feel like I have no time to decompress or get through the day or have something to look forward to, really.
For ONW Now, this has been Ash Hunt.
I'll definitely be taking notes on some of those ideas.
Next up, we have a live segment brought to you by Eli Whitaker.
As we all know, our school is full of new clubs this year, including Medical Club, Feminist Club, and today's focus of Asian Student Union.
Let's send it off to Kylie Davis and Justin Preston so they can tell us about this new opportunity that's being offered here.
What's up, Ravens? I'm here with Kylie Davis and Justin Preston, and I have a few questions for you guys today. What is ASU?
So Asian Student Union is kind of like this club where we can bring together people of different cultures and interests. And you don't necessarily have to be Asian to join. You just have to have like kind of this interest in learning about the culture and kind of what surrounds it.
And then this is for both of you. What do you guys do like in ASU? What do you do personally and what do you do personally?
So my role in ASU is I'm the president, so I kind of delegate and lead meetings, but I also work with the other board members to plan both our fundraisers and our new events.
Yeah, me personally, I'm the secretary. We work together a lot as a board to get a lot of things done, but I take a lot of the notes in the meetings, a lot of the minutes, talk to other board members and plan fundraisers, stuff like that. We always work together a lot.
And then why did you guys start ASU?
So kind of the reason why we decided that it would be an important club to have is, in one part, it's great just giving people of this community a place to belong at Northwest. And on the second part, like I said, anyone can join. So it's just a great place to kind of educate yourself and learn more about not only your own culture, but the cultures of others.
And then how do you get involved in ASU?
You can stop by any Thursday in Mr. John's room. Anyone can come. It's a great time. Or we have an informational meeting today after school at 3 o'clock. Mr. John's room also.
Well, that's all, Ravens. Let's send it back to the desk.
That was so cool. I love seeing all the different cultures of this school share what they love.
Like Justin just said, if you're interested in joining, speak to Mr. Johnson, room 2116.
But don't go quite yet, because we have another amazing story on Asian culture.
Over the weekend, Gretchen and I visited the Lenexa Public Market to go celebrate the Lunar New Year event they hosted.
So let's pass it over to none other than Jonna for our story.
Although many of us here at Olathe Northwest celebrate New Year's on January 1st, there's another New Year's celebration that isn't quite as well known or appreciated. Let's go take a look at this year's Lenexa City Market Lunar New Year's event.
As the Lenexa Public Market, we have devoted our 2023 event planning to celebrating diversity and really bringing in as many different cultural events as we possibly can.
This holiday is very special to the people that celebrate, and it holds a lot of cultural significance.
The cultural significance is there's a very fun tale about how 12 animal zodiac get in the race, and it's just a fun tale to tell. It's called the Race of 12 Animal Zodiac, and this year is the rabbit year. And so for us Chinese people, when we talk about the holiday, the story, the little kids will feel very happy, and so that's the fun part of it.
We also learned about the many differences between American New Year and Chinese New Year.
It's different from the American New Year, which is January 1st, right? But for the Lunar Chinese New Year, it is different from year to year. For example, this year is January, right? Generally, it's in February. But this year is in January, starting today. And normally, it lasts for about 15 days, okay? So, that's why some people call it Spring Festival.
This year, the Lenexa Public Market will be packed with events that celebrate diversity and different ethnicities. So stay in the know about when the next event will occur. For ONW Now, this has been Jonna Cuman.
Before Sunday, I had very little knowledge about this holiday, and this event was the perfect opportunity to learn more.
And the best part is that we got to meet some amazing people along the way.
Hey Gretchen, you know what else is amazing?
My parking skills?
Yeah, close but no.
Oh.
I was thinking more like
about game day. Yeah, that's right.
You got it. Today we have Jace Leffler and Adam Donner to recap this past week of ONW Sports. Gretchen, would you do the honors?
Absolutely.
What's up, Ravens? Welcome back to everyone's favorite segment, Game Day.
I'm Adam Donner alongside Jace Leffler, and man, do we have a lot of sports to cover, so let's get started.
Last week, the boys basketball team headed up north to Liberty to participate in the annual CW Assessment Tournament.
The boys battled hard all week, but finished with a 1-2 record and placed 6th. Let's get a closer look at the tournament.
This past week, the boys basketball team traveled over to Liberty High School for the annual CW Assessment Tournament. They placed 6th at the tournament.
It's a different atmosphere from, being here and then being at Liberty. There's not really anyone in those gyms, so, you have to kind of bring your own energy, which I had to learn.
I think it was a good thing for our team to go out to the Liberty tournament every year because it shows us the different competition that's out on the Missouri side.
We need to play teams that are better than who we play, and just see what's out there.
Now that the tournament is over, the boys have their sights set on the rest of the season.
I feel like if we all stick together and just work together and like play for each other, I feel like we haven't done that yet. So when we all realize like, hey, if I play hard, then the person next to me plays hard, then we can actually do something.
Just keep working hard, keep going at it every day. It's not going to happen, in a night, so we just have to keep working.
When we all realize like, hey, if I play hard, then the person next to me plays hard, then we can actually do something.
For ONW Now, this has been Jay Sleffler.
The boys basketball team plays at 7 o'clock tonight at Spring Hill to take on the Broncos.
The girls basketball team has their own tournament this weekend in Newton starting Thursday.
The girls travel down to play the Newton Railroaders Thursday at 8 o'clock.
Last Wednesday, the girls wrestling team came to compete, winning the duel against Gardner Edgerton.
Val Galligan, Kendall Yarnell, Megan Vasquez, Haley Arthur, Chloe Harris, and Emmy Keller came out on top for the ladies. They compete again January 26th at Olathe North. Good luck, ladies.
Boys wrestling competed at Blue Valley Northwest in the Husky Invitational. Congrats to Reed Newbanks placing 7th, Leo Blanding placing 5th, Gabe Sherrill placing 3rd, Lucas Conover placing 2nd, and your tournament champ Tristan Duckworth placing 1st.
Great job, fellas. Raven Nation is proud. And shout out to Jalen Generally, Noah Brandstrom, Farrell Joswara, Josh Bond, Jack LaRue, Spencer Lane, and Kiefer Yim for completing the RAE challenge. That's 100 100-meter laps in just over 2 hours.
Also, congrats to Spencer Line, Daniel Franco, Cal Corso, Victor Vaccaro, Cooper Gross, and Brevin Beggs for putting up their best times.
The girls and boys bowling teams had themselves a day at their tournament at Olathe Plains East yesterday.
The boys varsity team took first with Tommy Mitchell placing second and Mason Browning placing second while leading the way for the Ravens.
The girls varsity team took second with Allie Glasscock placing first to take the Ravens to their second place finish. Great job, bowlers.
Well, that sums up this week for sports. For this game day has been Jay Sleffler and Adam Donner. Now let's toss it back to the desk.
Thank you, Jason Adam, for yet another amazing game day.
Now, what better way to transition from sports than with a polar bear?
Yeah, you heard that one right. Ava Hansen traveled all the way to the Kansas City Zoo to learn more about Berlin, the oldest North American polar bear that sadly passed away.
The Kansas City Zoo has so many exhibits to offer, from otters to penguins to a crowd favorite, polar bears. However, the zoo recently lost their oldest polar bear, Berlin. Let's take a look into her life and legacy.
Berlin was an iconic representative and ambassador for her species. She had been here for over 10 years, since 2012. And during that time, she had thousands upon thousands of fans in our community. People would come for miles to see her.
Not only has Berlin made an impact on the community, but the zoo as a whole.
But anytime we lose an animal that we have built a relationship with over, even decades, in Berlin's case, it's going to have an impact. So, we're sad, but we understand that we gave her the absolute best care possible.
Even though this is an extremely tragic loss, there are positives coming from it.
She was actually the first bear to receive what's called a voluntary EKG. So just as in human care, EKGs look at the heart rate and heartbeat and how the heart is functioning. And so to get one voluntarily from her, in other words, she did it on her own, we didn't have to restrain her in any way or do anything like that, is going to pay benefits for years to come with other polar bears.
Berlin was truly given the best life possible at the zoo. She was loved by the staff, community, and especially the other animals. For ONW Now, this has been Ava Hansen.
Thank you, Ava, for such a touching story. I'm so glad Berlin was able to make a positive impact on the KC area.
And while on the topic of impact, COVID has left its mark on all of this city. Drew Sheets took it to Cerner Corporation to ask them how they have adjusted to life after COVID.
Welcome back, Ravens, to the new year. Since we're about a month into the new year, it's time to take a look at those resolutions. Let's talk with some students.
The Cerner Corporation is a healthcare industry giant that was founded in 1979 by Neil Patterson, Paul Gorup, and Cliff Illig, and its headquarters happen to be located in Kansas City. Cerner houses roughly 29,000 employees globally, with 13,000 of those being located in the KC metro area. Even though we are about 3 years removed from the COVID-19 pandemic, the impact this deadly virus had on the world of business is still very much relevant. Businesses across the globe, including Cerner, have resorted to a work-from-home approach. Majority of the employees at Cerner now exclusively work from home, with a very small percentage actually being full-time in office. The repercussions of these new ways of working have proved to be effective, yet costful. Pre-pandemic, Cerner operated out of 5 different campuses across the greater KC metro area. Now, they just use one building, the Innovations campus off of 435 and Bannister Road. This campus contains 4 buildings and thousands of cubicles that remain empty day in and day out. The continuous campus at Legends, the world headquarters in North Kansas City, and the Realization campus at the Triangle are buildings that Cerner was forced to shut down and sell due to lack of in-office employees. In December of 2021, the company was purchased by Oracle for $28.4 billion. The full takeover happened in June of this past year, but this takeover was unique as it was uncharted grounds for both companies, as it was almost done fully remotely. Oracle Cerner still remains a powerhouse in the healthcare world, as they work closely and provide software needed for hospitals and healthcare centers worldwide. Yet the impacts of COVID will always remain firm on how the world of business operates. The time and era of offices, cubicles, conference room, and business meetings at Chili's showing baby back ribs is now over, as we venture into a new era of work being done remotely, at home, with meetings held through Zoom and Microsoft Teams. For ONW Now, this has been Drew Sheets.
That is so cool to see how Cerner employees have adapted to new circumstances and created new goals for themselves in these post-COVID years.
And regardless of COVID effects, many ONW students have also been creating goals for themselves in this new year.
Me personally, I have a goal of being accepted to ASU, Arizona State, of course.
Well, you got me beat on that one. I don't even have a goal.
Dylan Augustine went around the school and asked for some of your fellow Ravens what resolutions they've set for themselves this year.
Welcome back, Ravens, to the new year. Since we're about a month into the new year, it's time to take a look at those resolutions. Let's talk with some students and see if they were able to keep their resolutions. What was your New Year's resolution this year?
Bench 215.
Have you been able to achieve that yet?
Not yet. I'm working towards it.
What was your New Year's resolution this year?
Get better grades.
Have you been able to keep that resolution?
Sort of.
What was your New Year's resolution this year?
To get so many money. A lot of money.
Have you been able to stick to that resolution through the last month?
Yes and no.
What was your New Year's resolution this year?
Sorry, I have to think about this one. I didn't really have a New Year's resolution. It's just kind of the same as last year.
Why don't you have one?
I don't know. I just kind of didn't really feel like I needed one.
Okay, resolution number 1, get...
Jonna, we're live. Oh. Well, for the sake of her attention span, we've just got one more story left for you guys today.
Let's give the spotlight to Nikki Woodworth, who is going to tell us how the rise of electric cars may help save the environment.
Electric car purchases are on the rise due to the increasing level of pollution caused by gas vehicles.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's true, but I've kind of heard that, like, the factories that electric cars are made at have, like, a similar pollution level to, like, gas-powered cars.
That depends on how they fuel the energy, the power plants. If they fuel the power plants using coal, then no, we're not going to accomplish much.
As electric car technology has advanced, many auto manufacturers, such as the one behind me, Toyota and Chevy, have announced that by 2030, their fleets will be either partly or wholly electric. And this has led many to ask, why the switch?
It's probably safer, but they don't sound as cool.
I get much better mileage with my car now than I did. And I haven't noticed any difference, like when I'm at a stop sign and it shuts down. When I step on that gas, it's ready to go. I mean, there's no pause, no, okay, it has to fire the engine again and that type. That doesn't happen, it just goes. And the thing I've noticed the most is better gas mileage.
This has been Nikki Woodworth, now back to the desk.
Such an interesting story to end off on.
And as much as I hate to admit it, this show has come to an end.
Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for Thursday for ONW Now.
As always, this has been Jonna Cuman
and Gretchen Renfro.
See you next time, Ravens.